It's been a very eventful past 8 days because of the COC filing period. Let's start from a big picture perspective. What was your assessment of this season of filing of candidacies? And also talk us through what's at stake here, particularly for the administration.
Well, the 8 days of filing is actually it shows to everyone how we are always trying to catch the last bus. No, there were surprises in the last 2 days, and essentially the opposition, quote unquote, because nobody has claimed really that they are the opposition, is building their slate as we go day to day. The administration came up with a 12-man women slate. The Duterte lineup misses on two elements: women and Muslim. Traditionally, when you come up with a national slate, you would always have a position, several positions for women and other marginalized sectors. But in the Duterte slate, these are all male, and to a certain degree that gives an advantage to the administration slate, which I think has four women in their slate. So the next few days, we will essentially see the building up of the opposition. That's a very good strategy because you earn media mileage as you develop the slate and you present the whole slate. Because right now there are only um, six PDP or seven PDP, and the rest are might probably end up as guest candidates because they filed as independent candidates.
Uh, you wrote an op-ed actually with the title "The 28." Was it the 2028 race is on? I want to quote something back to you. You said, though Marcos is incumbent, this will be a test of coattails. He will be tested in 2025. What did you mean by that?
If you are an incumbent and you just came from a national election, traditionally you develop coattails. So everyone will just hang on that and hopefully convert and win. Unfortunately, in this administration, the way the slate was built was there are several names there that can stand on its own, on their own strength, on their own network, on their own ability to gain and string the necessary combination of voters. The president does not have a coattail. If you go back to his electoral performance in 2010, 20, was it 2010? Yeah, 2010, 2016, where he lost, and in 2022, where he teamed up with Mayor Sara Duterte. So it's out there in the open. They convinced Mayor Sara Duterte to join the ticket, then known as Uniteam, and that created the catalyst, the impetus for the team to go beyond the traditional numbers for presidential and vice presidential races.
So were you seeing it, Malou, just to be clear, that the last election in 2022, people were kind of riding the Duterte coattails still, in the form of
Yes.
Sara Duterte's coattails?
Yes, I'm saying that because if you look at the number of votes of the Duterte from 2016, when President Duterte ran, in 2019 when a staff of the president, Bongo, ended up number three with 22 with I think 20 million votes. I'm not sure of the number. And then in 2022, you had Mayor Sara Duterte ending up with 32 million, and the last man to be named in the 12 person ticket, Robin Padilla, ending up as number one with 22 million. I call that in the column as tracers. Tracers are candidates that are placed there to determine the measured capacity of candidates Duterte and the measured capacity of the Duterte brand outside of the term of President Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
How do you think the Duterte brand is going to perform? We're down to 3 official senators under PDP Laban. I guess we can say that the opposition is fractioned right now. We do have, of course, the Liberal Party slash what people call the yellow ticket, as well as the Duterte side of the opposition. What are you seeing? What will happen to the Senate after the midterms?
Okay, that's several questions. Okay, one on the Duterte, there's got to be a study on the Duterte brand because Rodrigo Roa Duterte is not necessarily the same as the brand Sara Duterte. They've never campaigned together. In 2019, there was a slate which Mayor Sara Duterte led. And President Duterte then named another slate of composing of 6 or 7 candidates. And you know, the public was given a chance to select from among around 15 candidates that were endorsed by father-daughter. Will they campaign together and the country will see a joint effort by the father Duterte? The father and the daughter Duterte, that's a challenge. And everyone is looking forward to that because that's going to be strong. Insofar as the Senate, your news a while ago, you were discussing relatives, families controlling the Senate. If you're going to look at the Senate post-2025 and Villar, the daughter, won and the Tulfo brothers won, you would practically have 9 votes that can day-to-day be subject to determination of where the quorum is, where the majority is, and possibly the changing of the Senate President because those families, that's 4 families all in all, will have 9 votes together. They can be a strong swing in the Senate.
Malou, can you help us understand a little bit why the former president decided to run for mayor instead of senator when, as you mentioned in your op-ed, that the move placed a damper on the voters' cry for him to run for senator? What's happening over in Davao right now? And why is it critical for the Duterte family to secure that? Aren't they secure already, given their long history?
Well, one is, everyone was trying to suggest and to even stake a claim on the former president running for the Senate simply because he was rating well. He was one of the Dutertes coming as it is from Baste and Pulong and the president that was hitting the top 5 or 6 in the previous pre-campaign surveys. What is in Davao? I think they saw and realized that under this administration, they will be pulped dry. Look at what happened to the KOJC, and prior to that, look what happened to the changing of police chiefs. We've had, I think, 3 times 3 changes of the chief of police of Davao City. Davao City being the biggest city in the country, and apart from the changing of the chiefs of police, you would also remember the 34 members of the Davao City Police that were replaced during pre-Kibuloy problem, no? So what is there in Davao? That's the bailiwick of the Dutertes. Davao City is the bellwether of the Davao Peninsula. You win in Davao City, you almost always influence the politics of the Davao Peninsula. It's interesting at the way they played their cards. It's the former president running for mayor. The current mayor ended up as vice mayor, but if you look at how they try to consolidate the district, there is Congressman Pulong running in the 1st district. The son of and the son and the grandchild son of Pulong, grandchild of PRRD, running in the 2nd district, and of course the 3rd district is Sid Ungab's district, which he holds it strongly. So you will see the consolidation in Davao City. It is also very important that that part of Mindanao is strengthened for purposes of 2028 in the event the Vice President runs.
It's
But
very
Malou,
different, though.
sorry,
Yeah, go ahead.
is that a roundabout way of saying that Mayor Baste could not have brought it home? Because what the other analysts have told us is that they really needed presence in the Senate in case of an impeachment complaint, right? But instead, former
Yeah.
President Duterte has decided to go for a local seat.
Sean, the problem with the impeachment is if they're going to pursue an impeachment when they come back in session in November 4 and spill over in the last session last session week in January, that's going to be a political decision. Well, impeachment is a political decision, but we are going into a campaign season. And once you hit and bring impeachment into the campaign season, that kind of divides everyone and really pushes the vice president to go down and engage. Right now, she is not engaging. She is choosing issues to engage on. She has remained quiet in the past 8 days of filing, both at the local and national level. She has not commented on what's happening in Davao City. You bring the impeachment now, she will be all over the place. And uh, during a campaign season, you cannot really control what comes out of that. There will be so many extraneous variables that you will have to contend with, and that might impact on the performance of the administration party.
Could it not, though, be seen as perhaps Baste not being strong enough to be able to definitively grab Davao City again? That's why the dad had to be called in. On top of that, the lay of the land has really changed, right? I think the administration could be supporting the opponents. The comebacking siblings, the Nograles siblings, are back. One going for mayor, one going for their old district, which is now with Pulong. How does this factor into, what could happen down there?
Well, alam mo, Regina, si Baste is strong because his first attempt to run, he was not a councilor. He out from the cage, he ran for mayor, and he successfully got that. His governance style may be different from the father. Certainly, he is the future of the Dutertes. Why the president? Rodrigo Duterte brings into the campaign his hat as being ex-president. And that is very, very, very strong. So when he filed that, and he was able to bring out those who are interested to run against him, you saw the reaction of the Baweños. You saw the reaction of the citizens who love Mayor Duterte and who immediately made an issue of hindi ka ba hindi mo ba magalang ang nagbigay sa iyo ng karir mo, ang nagtrust sa iyo for 6 years, and actually appointed you as civil service chief. That to me, the civil service chief is a career. That's a 6-year term. You can actually impact on so many in the bureaucracy. The bureaucracy is 1.5 million workers. The fact that he had to make public his resignation and had to explain to everyone, and when he went to Davao City to file, he was not being forthright when he was there in Comelec. So there's a lot of Davaoenos who are saying, they still will go for the old man despite the age and the situation. I think that going up against an ex-president is something else.
Malu, the
Secondly,
way...
all politics is local, and certainly the Dutertes know how to play that.
Malou, the way this looks like kasi parang si tatay, tinulungan niya yung kanyang, yung son niya, si
Si
Baste. Imbis na yung daughter niya, kumbaga, parang imbis na protektahan niya si Sara, pinili niya dito kay Baste. Kaya kung napapaisip kami, kung baka nakita nila na mas kailangan si PRRD doon. Go ahead.
If you know the relationship of the father and daughter, they rarely talk. I don't think they talk about 2025. Why run for vice president? I think everyone knew what happened there. Why is she doing it on her own? I think that is what the vice president wants. It's not essentially bakit hindi mo tinulungan yung anak mo, vice president. I think we've had clips before where he said, where PRRD said, mag-ingat kayo dun sa anak kong babae. So technically, what we are seeing is the president concentrating in his bailiwick, where he started. I guess it's a full circle for him. He started in Davao. He was talking about what his grandfather did, what his father did, what his mother did, and what he should do, which is it's very hard to understand why you would want to go Davao instead of the national. But I think this is a former president who've had enough of national politics and would really want to protect and see through the development of Davao City in his sunset years.
Well, unfortunately, we've run out of time, but we do hope to have you back on to talk about local races in other key cities. For now, we're going to have to leave that there. Publicus Asia founder and seasoned political strategist Malou Tiquia, thanks for your time.